We all encounter these types of people that turn everything into a fight. It's just a disagreement that personally offends them. Today I'm going to tell you about a simple playbook to deal with argumentative people without losing your mind. This is how to break the argument loop. You ask questions, force them to calm down, set boundaries that actually work, and exit when they just start yelling. The first tip I want to give you is to identify who you're dealing with. Not all argumentative people are the same. Figure out the type. The first type is just people who argue to win, not really to understand anything. The second type is people who feel attacked whenever someone disagrees with them. And the third type is the rage baiter. They just enjoy conflict. To them, it's entertaining. And then there's also the type that just has a good faith debate, who's a bit intense, but they actually want the truth. I'm not really going to talk about this type since that's not really the problematic type here. So here's how you can break the argument loop. Step 1 is you want to validate their emotion. It's not an accusation. Just tell them, I can tell this matters to you, or I hear that you're frustrated. You want them to know that they're heard. It's not really an argument at this point, it's just they're upset, and you want to let them know that, yeah, I know you're upset. If they're the type to just talk at nothing, then you want them to be specific. Ask them, what is the main point you want me to respond to? Because if they just throw anything out there, then what's the debate here? It's just, they're just yelling at this point about nothing. So ask them to be specific. Another technique is to use a heat check. The idea here is not to get mad with the person you're arguing with, but it's to make them look at it and just understand why they're heated. Take a pause, because when you pause, it gives them time to think about what they just said and what they expect to hear. Because if you just start arguing and start yelling and matching their heat, then they just win, because that's exactly the response they want. Take a pause, take a breath, collect your own thoughts so that you can respond properly, and ask them, why are you so mad about this topic? Or why are you so mad about people who disagree with your opinions? The goal here is to make them think, for once, because we all know people who argue like this never think. Do you really think having that reaction is the right way to respond? If they get heated about this and they start yelling and getting angry, just ask them, do you really think it's okay to start yelling? Because that's not the proper way to have a debate with somebody. A debate goes two ways, and if they only go their own way, then it's not a real debate. It's just yelling, and it becomes an argument. Which brings me to my next question. Are we debating, or are you just yelling at me about your beliefs? Because a lot of times, they'll admit it. Yeah, we're not having a debate. I'm right and you're wrong, which is obviously not the way this works. And if they respond that way, then it's not even worth staying in that argument. None of even the best comebacks can compare to just making the other person reflect on what they're doing. Now that's how to stop somebody from just arguing away. Because sometimes you just need to walk away from an argument like that. This next topic is if you want to engage with this person, you need to set boundaries or rules. Just keep things short, calm, and non-negotiable. I'm happy to talk if we can stay respectful to each other. Or if they just talk over themselves even, you just say, we will keep things one topic at a time. Or if we start raising our voices at each other, I'm stepping away. That makes it so that they keep themselves in check. Because if they want to keep debating, then they have to stay within these rules. You can also say, I don't respond to people who yell at me, or I don't respond to people who aren't willing to accept differing opinions. I have a friend who argues constantly about everything, and honestly, if it weren't for the fact that they're actually like a decent person most of the time, I would just drop them, honestly. But it's just every topic that comes up, they have to pick something out to argue about. And if you know somebody that just won't stop and they just keep going, or if you encounter somebody that you've never met before, or if they're not usually like this, and you've done everything that we've talked about at the beginning of the video, and they just keep going, this next topic will be the most beneficial to us both. If you just want them to stop and they keep pushing, you can just say, stay mad. That's basically the bottom line here. If they're getting heated and you don't want to deal with it anymore, then they can just keep being upset. You need to keep a level head. You need to be the one that de-escalates the situation. If they keep going and they just don't stop, just stop it right there. You should be the one to do it. Just tell them, stay mad. That's it. If you want to stay upset, that's your choice, but I will remain calm. You can feel however you want, but I am done with this conversation. You want to be the smarter person in the situation, so just move on and let them keep the anger. Those are all the techniques I wanted to talk about, so just as a conclusion to wrap things up, first step is to identify what kind of arguer they are. Whether they want to just debate so that we can understand each other, or if they just enjoy rage-baiting people. Then you have to pick your own goal. Do you wish to continue having a calm discussion with this person? Or do you want to try and solve the differences that you have? Or to protect yourself and just exit? Then the next step is to break the loop. You validate their emotion and just ask them to be specific. If that doesn't work, then you do a heat check. Just make them notice that they're escalating and keep them in check so that things don't get even more heated than they already are. Step 5, if you want to continue and they're still being heated, set boundaries. That will make sure that they know if they escalate things, then the conversation is over. If none of those work, or if you just want to end it here, then just exit. And don't re-enter the conversation. I really hope this video was helpful to you all. Researching this video for myself has been a huge boost in my conversation abilities, and I really hope that you can take away as much as I took away from this video. We deal with so many people in our lives that just think they can yell and argue about everything, and honestly, it's frustrating. If you're like me, then you realize that this just doesn't work. So I'm glad that I looked into making a video like this, and I really hope that this video helped you. Please comment what you thought, if any of these tips helped you, or if there's anything that you'd like me to talk about in the future. Anything helps, as this channel is growing. And please remember to like and share and comment. All of that will help me, and I hope that I can give you the value to help you as well. Thank you so much for watching.